God.
Well, speaking of bad leaders, should we hop into the Bachelor tea?
Oh, wow. Yes. Guys, a lot has happened. And honestly, apparently Chris Harrison recently moved to Texas.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, I think he's in the Austin area.
Oh my
so,
God.
Hey, Chris, did you get snowed in your freaking mansion of a house?
I gotta get back in the...
Ma.
Brr, brr. That kind of sounds like a bird in my head. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Radiate Podcast. I'm Issa.
I'm Grace Ann.
I really do like those glasses on you.
Every time I wear these glasses, she's like, did you get new glasses? And I'm
Every
like,
time.
I've literally had these for like 2 years.
They're cute. Maybe
To be
'cause they
fair,
look
I
so
don't wear them a
clean.
lot.
They're really cute.
But yeah, I've had them for a hot minute.
Yeah. We're back at First Dips. But also, can I just say that my brother's FaceTiming me.
Into it.
I'm on the podcast. Oh my God, look how he's... I'm on the podcast. Can I call you later?
Wait, who's on there?
Hi, Kenneth.
Are y'all talking on the podcast right now?
Yeah, we're
We're
on it right now. We literally just started.
No, Mom's not here.
Okay, I might go surprise them tomorrow.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, yeah, you should. Okay, we'll have to talk to you later. Say bye to the
Don't tell her.
radiators.
Don't
I'm
tell her.
not.
Okay, bye radiation squad.
Bye, radiation.
No.
No.
No. That's not the vibe.
Love you, bye.
We will not be calling our fan base radiation.
He thought that was so funny. Okay.
Radiators. But
Radiator.
good job.
And speaking of
Good job.
right, speaking of radiators, in this, I feel like I've said this before that like I'm proud of us and stuff, but I'm gonna say it again because nothing can stop us. I'm all the way up.
Not even the winter storm, which had a name. Did you know it had a name?
No, what is
I
the
only
name?
knew it because of Google Maps. Uri. U-R-I.
That's disgusting.
Because it's like when you're mapping somewhere, it's like the roads may be under weather condition due to the winter storm Uri. I was like, the F?
I did not know
It
that.
has a name?
I
I don't know.
was watching. Thank you for letting me know that.
First of all, guys, how are y'all? How are
I
y'all?
hope everybody's okay.
Guys, we have been through a lot. Texas is crying. Texas has
Still.
been through a lot. Last week felt like a fever dream. I wish it
Yes,
was.
Me
because quite literally one of the worst weeks, if not the worst week of my life.
too. That was tough.
It was tough.
Tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fiction necklace.
Oh, thank you. But okay, before we get into the storm, because I know we're going to talk about that. But like she said, I hope everybody's okay. We know a lot of people who aren't, but we'll get to that. I was watching some of our old podcasts, we have some good ones. Like the one with Jameson is actually really, really good. Like I think we did good. The one with Dana was obviously a good one. I was watching, I was like skipping through. I was like, this is a good one. I just wanted to say that.
Wait, were you watching them because you missed me? Is that what you're saying?
A little bit. I'd missed. Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
But you know what I'm saying? So it was.
Yeah.
I've never gone back to watch them. But we've done almost 30.
That's insane.
Do you know how much work goes into this, people?
A lot.
A lot.
Guys, I've said this a million times. We don't get paid. We literally do this for fun.
Yeah.
But
We spend
we're
money.
vibing. Yeah.
But we're vibing.
We're vibing.
So I'm proud of us because
Yeah. Not even a winter storm can stop us radiators.
No.
Or as Kim said, radiation. Okay, that's the last time I'm saying that because it's not happening.
It's not sticking. I think throughout the beginning, when we first started this podcast, I feel like so much has happened. A lot of good things, but a lot has happened, and
It's kind of cool
yeah.
that we have documented
Yes.
our life.
Yeah.
You know? Because, to think that we can go back to September? That's when did we start in September,
I think
October?
the last day of
something like that?
August, yeah.
And kind of go back and listen to like, first of all, the audio quality, wow. I think that we should be the most proud about that. We literally had these expensive mics and couldn't figure out for the life of us, why does it sound a certain way? And then it was like, oh, turn the volume down. We were like, wow.
Yeah.
We really did something there.
But I mean, we have audio, video. That's all we can really do. But
videographer.
okay.
Wow, he's so cute. Hey.
He's not listening, is he?
No, he's so cute.
So yeah, we did that thing.
Yeah, but for anyone who doesn't know, Issa has literally been in Houston like
last week,
week and a half.
Yeah.
Which wasn't gonna be the plan. But then the winter storm hit. But we are in Houston. If you're watching on YouTube, you see that we are in the one and only First Dibs off of Memorial Drive in Houston, Texas.
Yes.
Because I have a senior shoot today here in a couple hours. And I was like, hey, like we're gonna be here. Why not? Let's do a podcast.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited for the shoot.
Me too.
It's gonna be fun. But yeah, so we're in Houston. It was not planned. Grace and I have been forcefully apart for a week and a half. But you were in Huntsville, which, do you know where the storm hit, like everywhere in Texas? Like, do you know what areas, or was it everywhere?
It hit everywhere.
Really?
But I know that like Houston, Huntsville got a huge
really
brunt of it. Yeah.
So yeah, I was here with my family, and there's many stories to tell about that. But you were in Huntsville, in our apartment, and you had messaged me the day that they told you the power was gonna go out, and the water, and it is 2 days still the water is not on.
Yeah, we're not supposed to get water for another like 5 days.
That has to be illegal.
It's because the main water pipeline to our entire complex completely like burst. And I was talking to someone in the front office, and he had told me that he literally himself was on the phone with like over 30 contractors.
Yeah.
And it's only because like everybody needs help. So like the contractors are like, we can go, but it's not going to be until like next Friday, blah, blah. So he finally found one that can get there the soonest possible is Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I was telling Vincent, like, yeah, they're coming Wednesday.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean it's going to be fixed Wednesday.
Yeah. What if they can't fix it? What if they have to redo it?
To be fair, though, like, this is the most that our apartment complex has ever emailed us. Like,
I know.
I'm just like, they're really on it. Like, I was just like, and I think that was probably, like, one of the most frustrating parts was, like, the lack of communication.
Yeah.
Like, I just wish they would have told us, like, sooner that, like, the pipe, like, because I was just like, why is everybody else in our town getting water? But the good thing is I can go over to Vincent's apartment and shower and do that. But it's been a struggle. Like, every time I have to go to the restroom, I'm like, do I really need to go to the restroom?
I know.
Like, so it's actually a fun little story here. We were over at Vincent's place last night, and his roomie, Chris, they had, one of his roommates, Chris, they had filled a bunch of, like, old, like, empty liquor bottles with clean water before the water went out in Huntsville.
Yeah.
And so quite literally their apartment was like covered in like liquor bottles, but it had water in it. So they were like, we don't need these anymore. So you go ahead and just take all of them. So literally Vincent packed them up in a box, and he was like, please don't get pulled over, because if you get pulled over, this is going to look really bad. I was like, we can't get in trouble, but like, I understand.
It is going to look bad.
Yeah. So obviously nothing bad happened, but we were able to like get them over to my place. And now I have like a ton of like old liquor bottles. I'm talking like nice tequila, vodka, wine, like filled to the brim with water.
Is that going to go on our wall of...
Definitely not.
Why?
There's so many.
Really?
We don't have room. Yeah. But
why do y'all have... First of all, let's talk about why y'all have some...
We're not alcoholics.
I was about to say.
No, you're not alcoholics. Y'all were guys in college. So like... But even, like, they save all their bottles. Yeah. So this is, like, over the course of, like, over 2 years.
Oh.
But Chris was like, I was like, do you want these back? He's like, no. He was like, we literally, like, it was like, he were like, we need to clean.
They do have a lot.
So, yeah. So he was just like, throw them out. I was like, okay. So.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But you know what? I think out of everything, I am just thankful to have, like, heat, electricity, internet. It's just been like last week, because it's like we both work from home, right? Obviously, I can't do my job if I have no internet.
Yeah.
Also, like, no power, period.
Yeah.
Like, it was to the point where it's like I was literally under my covers, like, trying to keep Lila warm with my body heat. Yeah. Like, the apartment quite literally got under 30 degrees.
That's crazy.
Like, I was just like, Vince, if we leave Lila here, like, she's going to freeze to death.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
I'm going to
that's
come back and
scary.
she's going to be frozen.
Yeah.
So I'm just, like, super thankful that we have people, like, in our lives that, like, opened up their place and, like, let us sleep there.
Yeah.
And, like, it was, like, really warm. And granted, like, Kayla Arturo, if you're listening, I love y'all so much.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, Kayla, y'all, you really pulled through. Like, she's the OG.
I love that.
Guys, Vincent and I have recently been COVID vaccinated, our first round. Shout out to Kayla. That's a whole other story I'll get to.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just super thankful that we have, like, such amazing people in our life
Yeah.
that let me come into their home and eat their food and just house me and my beautiful kitty. And yeah.
That's so nice.
But I don't know if I've told you this, but, like, the amount of carpet, like, steamery trucks that have been to the, like, our place.
Oh, because the leaks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, there have been multiple people that moved into our building, into, like, the emptier apartments because they've been displaced out of their apartment.
Oh, my gosh.
A ton of pipelines burst. And that's why I was super paranoid because, you know, they emailed us and they were like, hey, like, even if you haven't been affected, you still could be because the temperatures are rising. And that's when more pipes are going to start bursting. So I was like, I need to get to my place and make sure, like, everything's okay. Knock on wood.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
So.
Well, we talked about the old people who were dealing with this, the newborn babies, because in Houston, I stayed because I knew I had to go into work 2 days, and so we were like, it's not the best idea for me to go to Huntsville because then I'll be stuck. So
And Issa was like, I might come back on Monday. I was like, Issa, that's when the main snowstorm is coming.
yeah, I know, but
I
you
was
know,
like,
everybody's always dramatic. So let's just see it
it was
out.
not dramatic.
So
it was worse than what people were expecting.
Oh yeah, it was horrible.
For sure. Yeah.
So one of my friends, Taj, I've known since I was 3. She just had a newborn 3 months ago, and she lost power and heat like the day it was getting bad, and so she had already slept a night with no power. And I was like, I have to go freaking get you because this is not, a baby cannot be in that weather. It was freezing. So my dad and I went to go get her. It was a huge journey to get her because, you know, we stalled out. It was really scary. And that was during the day. And then by the time, since the car stalled out, that equals doesn't work, broken. Range Rover is gone. Really sad about, the Range Rover is done. But obviously, you know, it was getting old anyways. He needed a new car. But the point is that by the time we got to Taj's, we finally found her because her phone was dead. Okay, so I was running through a dark apartment complex that is huge, finding Taj with no way to talk to her. We finally found her. It was funny. And then our neighbor came and rescued us in my Jeep. Steffi made it.
Wow.
I know. Steffi not only made it to the Woodlands, which is from where I live like 40 minutes, and he came and picked us up. It was dark outside. It was pitch black. And then Steffi, my car, made it all the way back. I thought I was going to die. I'm not kidding. I did not say a word the whole way home. I was looking at the baby. I was looking at Taj, and we were just like staring at each other. My dad was driving. My neighbor was in the passenger. It was very scary. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm ready to get in a wreck because, you know, we were driving on ice and it was dark.
How long did it take y'all?
Oh my God, it took us like an hour and in 15 minutes. Like, it was scary.
Yeah.
But
what time was this at? So this was like, it was pitch black.
It was like 8 o'clock. By the time he
Jesus.
got, it was like 7:30, but you know, it's already dark.
Wait, first of all, shout out to your neighbor.
Oh, Arash?
wow.
Thank you so much. No, I know. He did not have to come get us. He risked his life to come get us. And then yesterday, on top of that, he brought us 8 packs of water.
That's so sweet.
I know, and didn't even want to accept money. I'm like, sir, you deserve a party because you saved many people, but especially the baby.
Since you're cordially invited to your own party that
Yeah.
we're throwing for you.
Yeah. But like people like Arturo and Kayla and Arash, like,
I know.
They
Like
didn't have to
you've
do that.
definitely seen like people's like true colors.
Yes.
I mean, you always do when it comes to like things that like natural disasters and stuff and like really bad events.
yeah.
But just seeing like the kindness out of some people's hearts and then like you see people's nasty sides come out too. So
Yeah.
you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Let
It's
me
like,
stay
how do
with
you act in certain situations? And so like people like Arturo and Kayla and whoever else helped you, like, you just remember those little things. And like Arash really didn't have to come get us, and he did, and it was scary. And
Yeah, it's like the difference between like the person who like would give you their last water
Yep.
or someone at the store who's gonna buy like fucking 17 packs of water when
Yep.
it's not needed.
yeah,
I'm like, guys,
yeah,
Like, everything's going to be okay in, like,
Yeah.
3 days,
Oh, I
but
know.
you taking everything from the store isn't going to help.
What was it that there was nothing of? It was something. My mom was like, I can't believe there's none of it. I don't remember what it. Oh, creamer. There was no creamer.
No, I know, but I feel, do you think that was because maybe
they
of the
don't?
power?
I thought that.
But also, there was, like, no milk and dairy, but I think, like,
Yeah.
I feel like most stores have generators.
Yes.
Because of this.
Yeah, no, like Kroger was fine.
And also, I also want to say, I think, and we'll get to the power grid in a minute, but I think when they were like forcing people's powers off, they kept businesses on because of that.
you know, all of downtown, the Toyota Center was lit up the night we didn't have power.
Did they let people like?
No, like just a sign.
Oh, okay.
But that has to take up a good amount of energy. I was like, my aunt was so mad.
What is
But
the point of that?
like downtown business, like you said, like they were
Yeah.
all like lit up. I'm like, no one's working.
Guys,
Man.
first of all, if you just so happen to be a person who doesn't live in Texas, congratulations, you did not go through last week. But I did not know this.
What?
That Texas is on their own freaking power grid.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all of a sudden, everything makes sense. Remember that joke that everyone's like, Texas is its own country?
Yeah.
No, the F, we are not.
I know.
And I need people to stop acting like we are, because this crap would have not happened to the extent it would have if Texas wasn't on their own power grid. We could have had help.
Yeah.
And don't even get me started.
That's because we don't want to give.
Don't even get me started on the quote unquote leaders.
Can I say
of
that
this
actually?
state.
Can I summarize that?
Yes.
It's more about, because we're talking about Ted Cruz, obviously, right? Or I mean, there's probably multiple, but are we?
Ted Cruz is at the top of the list.
Okay.
I need you to remember this in 2024 when re-elections are going.
And let me just say, Ted Cruz. Well, real quick, he left to Cancun, and he's one of the leaders of Texas, and he left to Cancun with his family when millions of people have no power, no water, no
and apparently
nothing.
he's claiming that he was just going to, quote unquote, drop them off. And I'm like, sir,
This ain't college, honey.
we can see your ticket.
Yeah. No.
It's not how it worked.
And for him to come back and not be honest about why he went, instead of lying and saying, "Oh, my daughter's I was just dropping them off." You don't fly out of the country to drop your family off and come back unless it's like.
Wasn't the mom?
Yes.
Like, why would...
And I've been hearing
This isn't daycare. Get in the
It's a
minivan. I'm going
lie.
to drive to Cancun to drop y'all off.
it's a lie. And then the fact that he came back with a Texas mask, I'm like, don't play me like that. Like, he came back with a Texas mask, and
He said,
apparently.
let me do this much.
Apparently the neighbors, and I don't know if this is true, but I heard this on Joe Rogan. Apparently the neighbors are like leaked text messages of a group chat.
wondered who did that, because I had saw that there were screenshots of a group chat with like the wife's friends or
Yes,
something.
saying like come with us to come like escape with us, like just come hang out on vacation with us. So it wasn't I'm dropping you
people
off.
are literally dying.
Okay, so and
But
did
you're
you
a
see
representative of Texas, but
his-
it's fine.
I know. His tweet, he tweeted in Ted Cruz tweeted, did you see it in 2016? He tweeted, "I will believe in climate change when Texas freezes over."
But that was debunked.
Oh, it's fake?
Yeah, it was proven that it was fake. Yes. Yeah. Fun fact.
But does he believe in climate change?
Probably not. I feel like most of the people that like
Dang.
no, this is a very red state.
So that was fake.
Yes. No, that was debunked. That is
Okay,
fake.
but that
yeah.
would have been so funny. If that
It would have
was
been
true.
funny, and I would have been like.
But either way, he shouldn't have left. Like, he just shouldn't have left.
And to the people who don't understand like why it's a big deal that he left, guys, he is one of the leaders of Texas. It represents Texas, and he escaped with his family to go vacation in Cancun while people are literally freezing to death in
Yeah.
their apartments, starving,
Yeah.
don't have water. Like,
Dying.
I talked to you about like Taj's situation. Thank God that she had someone that could come
Yeah.
save her. But there are people out there
Yeah.
who don't have someone to come save them. So there are multiple probably single moms with their newborns
Yeah.
in that exact situation.
Yeah.
What are they going to do?
She said she had to breathe on her for hot air.
Yeah.
Taj. And yeah, like you said, like Taj had people to come save her, but like, and I was even telling my dad, like I said last time, my grandma passed away. She was on oxygen in my house when she was alive. Okay, do you know how many people right now are on oxygen and can't make it into the hospital because of COVID? Like,
And I didn't know this, but apparently energy companies have like a list, like if it's like someone's like on like for medical if they are on tanks and stuff and like I guess like machines.
Yeah.
And they won't turn off that house's
That's good.
power.
That's
But
good.
it's like,
But
is
not
that
even-
accurate?
Well,
like,
not even that. It's
do
just
they
like,
actually look at that? You know what I
hope
mean?
They do. But yeah.
Apparently, the first lawsuit came out today against ERCOT. I don't know who is
Or what?
suing them,
Against-
but
Dang. Well,
like the head honchos
yeah.
that created this mess with the grid.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, something got to, because the thing is, I have a lot of family in Chicago. The whole time they were texting me, like, kind of like, look what they had. Their cars were under like 2 feet of snow, and they have water, they have power. So it definitely isn't. It definitely was an issue with the power grid situation. It's not like
100%.
it was just a coincidence. Like
Texas is cheap. Will cut corners as much as they can in order to not have to spend the money. And what is
Mom, that's my mom.
that? What the heck? What is that?
Mom, really? Okay. Mom, please stop. Seriously.
Issa's mother is currently talking to
Is
us
this a
through
good time to reset, you think?
Issa's mom is currently talking to us through the camera, so don't mess with First Dibs, y'all.
Yeah.
It's recorded. Mrs. Quadra can see every move. Don't mess
Mom,
with it.
please go away.
I love you. You're iconic.
Go away, please. That was terrifying.
That was.
Should we reset?
Let's reset.
Let's reset. Mom, really? Well, the point is that. Oh wait, I was gonna say something about. Oh yeah, for the people who don't, because I've already heard people on podcasts say like, what was he supposed to do? What was he supposed to do? It's more. First of all, I'm not even gonna answer that question. It's more about the morale of leaving something that you are a leader of. That's like a.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Beto was literally like campaigning, fundraising
I
for
believe
money.
it.
AOC all the way in New York.
AOC's here in Houston,
she's now,
Texas.
She's now here. They have now raised over $4 million.
I know. AOC, who's
Guys,
from New York?
that is what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That you're not a leader doesn't run away from a problem.
No, but that's what he did. That's the problem.
Ted Cruz, we've been knew that you are.
We've been new.
We've been new, but like, jeez.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
And
really
but it's the
embarrassing.
fact that like people are still like trying to make excuses. I'm like, you don't hold when you are held at a position of power
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
You are held to a higher standard.
Yeah.
So it like honestly, it offends me that some people are like, well, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like he's human. I'm like, then no, leaders don't run away.
He has a job. In
He has
any
a job to do.
situation, this
Guys,
is
we
wrong.
pay him.
This is wrong.
We're paying him to run away from issue. Like, okay, moving forward.
And then he lied about it.
Ted
Take
Cruz.
ownership.
Someone get the receipts. Someone sue Ted Cruz.
We'll sue him. I said,
No, we won't.
sir,
That's
come on.
That's
And
an empty threat.
and also, I hate to say it, but I think he's a little bit Cuban, and that hurts me a little bit. Okay, we don't claim him.
Not the Cuban.
A little bit Cuban. I don't think he's fully Cuban. I think he's a little bit Cuban.
What do people compare him to? It's,
Oh, Simpsons.
no, it's the fake or the Loch Ness. No, hold on. Loch Ness
Oh.
Monster.
Recently.
What is it called?
Zodiac Killer?
Wait, no. What are
Is
you
it
saying?
Zodiac Killer? I don't know. I just saw a picture. They took a picture of him walking in the airport, and then
Oh.
they did like I think it was like that one monster that
Sasquatch?
yes yes
Bigfoot.
they compared he was like walking and they put like a picture of Bigfoot and they're like
That's
it's
so
uncanny and I was like guys
That is so freaking funny.
oh my god
Well, speaking of bad leaders, should we hop into the Bachelor tea?
oh wow yes guys a lot has happened and honestly apparently Chris Harrison recently moved to Texas
No, he didn't.
yeah I
No,
think
he
he's in the
haven't.
Austin area
my
so
God.
hey Chris did you get snowed in your freaking mansion of a house
So, Chris Harrison.
let me put this out here right now I'm white okay
I am not.
duh. So my opinion on all of this really like doesn't it matters, but also like it doesn't matter as much as you know
If we were
the
black.
people of color.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm just putting that out there.
I agree with that.
But let me just say, F you, Chris Harrison, because goddamn,
Okay.
I am disappointed.
Remember when you said you weren't going to cuss on the podcast?
Yeah, I said F you.
You just said God.
Damn, that's not cussing.
I think it's a pretty bad cuss word.
Goddamn,
Yeah, I think it's like pretty bad.
really? More about Chris Harrison.
So this is the thing. Chris Harrison, I agree with what Grace Ann said, even though I'm Hispanic, I fall into the same category as you in this situation, because the point is there was a racist. One of the girls on the show did a racist act like 2 years ago, or she went to a ball that was on the held on the plantation. It was
in 2018.
In 2018, and so she was getting a little bit of like tweets about it, like why did you do this? Like, can you talk about it? And she didn't talk about it.
And that was the issue. And
that was the issue.
6 weeks had gone by, and she had not said anything.
Yeah, and in my opinion, and I think you agree with this, if you've done something in your past, like, I think you do have the right to at least take accountability for it, and then people then can decide if forgive you or not. But at the same time, it's like we do have to forgive at certain points. But she hadn't said anything, okay? So she hadn't said anything, and then Chris Harrison comes on Rachel Lindsay's show.
And boy, oh boy, did he fuel the fire.
Rachel Lindsay was the only black bachelorette ever, and she was the first black person to be a bachelor of the Bachelorette.
27, 26
yes.
seasons?
And when she came onto the show, she said, I will take this position if ABC promises me to have more black people as the leads. And it was like 3-4 more seasons, and they didn't have another black lead until they put Tayshia in, which we already know that was because of the Black Lives Matter. It's like, it's not okay to do things when you're getting caught. Like, do it for like genuine reasons. So Rachel Lindsay was an advocate for having more representation on TV, basically. And Chris Harrison, who is a white man, came on the show and, like you said, was just fueling the fire about everybody should forgive the contestant that did this racist act. Like, just excusing it and saying things like 50 million people did that, or like, I've done things. He was justifying the racist act to a black woman, telling her to get over it almost.
He said, and I quote, well, Rachel, was it a bad look in 2018 or is it a bad look now in 2021? Chris Harrison, that was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Also, doesn't matter.
It's January. It was February.
It's
February.
The way that he was so aggressive about it. And that's the part that really I was just like, what is going on?
Because I've never seen him mad. Ever.
I was like, why is he being so aggressive about this? Like, he's literally just trying to, like, shrug it off and put it under the rug. And I'm like, bro, no. And it's been interesting to me how, like, I've listened to so many different opinions on the matter. And pretty much everybody says the same thing.
Yeah.
Why wasn't PR on the phone call? Like, why? Like, literally, nobody was listening to that interview to help guide him and be like, hey, maybe you shouldn't talk about, like, certain things. But, like, you know, and, like, even if she does bring it up, like, say this, you know?
That's
and
sad.
he made things so much worse.
For the contestant.
For Rachel Kirkconnell. We should be saying last names because, like, both of their names are Rachel, but Rachel Lindsay is the one that was interviewing Chris. She's beautiful, amazing, wonderful. And then Rachel Kirkconnell is the contestant that we are talking about that did some racist bullshit in her past.
Yeah.
And basically the day after the interview, not even a day after, it was like 12 hours after it aired. Like, immediately he started receiving backlash. But from what I have been gathering, they did not realize how bad it was going to be. It's the main reason why they have not started filming the Bachelorette season. Main reason why who we think was going to be the Bachelorette might not be it anymore.
Yeah.
And they're no longer filming in Canada. But apparently that's because of COVID-related issues. Because people trying to get people across the border and all that.
The thing is, the disrespect to go on
I'm so disappointed.
A show with the only black person you've really you made the decision to have out of genuine feelings, and then tell her, was it, like you said, was it bad then or bad? First of all, it was bad the second that first happened back then. And Rachel Lindsay said something on the interview, and she was like, Chris, if I went to that party, what would I represent? That should have shut him up, and he should have not said another word, because she's right. If she was at that party as a black woman, she would not have been the white girls who were dressed up.
I was listening to a podcast, and it wasn't her podcast, but she was on someone else's.
Yeah.
And she was saying how, like, after the interview had they had, like, finished, like, talking and stuff, and they had wrapped up, Chris texted her. Didn't act like any of it was a problem.
What?
And
Chris texted Rachel Lindsay.
Yes. And was like, thanks for having me on, like, acting like very like nothing happened. And then it aired, and all the backlash happened, and then he had reached out to her again, and then he put out, like, apologized to her, and then he put out that apology on Instagram. And I understand where she's coming from with this. Like, she's like, that's the part that gets me.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, you didn't understand that it was quote unquote like bad until you received a lot of backlash. But yet you could see that I was in pain.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that you were literally offending someone's racist bullshit.
Yep.
But yet when I am trying to tell you, like, look at my view, you couldn't see it until a million people were like
calling you out.
F off. You know what I mean?
It was so messed
And I'm
up.
like, that is like a very valid point. Like, he literally, instead of listening to a black woman, his friend, and right in front of him, he didn't change his decision until he got a ton of backlash. Like,
he wouldn't stop talking. And it's sad because I can't imagine how uncomfortable she felt. And as a white man,
if you look at the interview, you can see her, like, she's, like, moving her hands around. Like, you can tell she's, like, super uncomfortable. And, like, people had been asking her, why didn't you say more? Like, why didn't you really dig in and like, or try to stop him? And she was like, I was going to let him say whatever he thought he wanted to say, he needed to say.
Well, we know what would have happened if she would have gotten rightfully upset. They would have pinned her to be an angry woman, angry black woman. So, literally, that's sadly the best thing she could have done.
Like, best way possible she could, you know.
But the thing is, he didn't have to do any of that. And I showed my dad. I was so mad when this first happened. My dad and I were watching, and my dad was like, "This man only cares about money, because he's trying to cover this up because he's protecting this girl, Rachel. What's her last name? Kirkconnell. And all he cares about is money. All I'm saying is there needs to be a huge change, because I don't know how many seasons the audience has to say we need a different." We just need something different. And the fact that they put Tayshia in during halfway through the Claire's season, it's just, I wish Tayshia would have been their first choice because of because of her, and not like because the audience was mad, because I was like, ABC just did that to cover themselves, and that's really annoying to me.
So rumors are now that originally after all of this happened, Chris he put out another statement that he was stepping down. Stepping aside, I guess you could say. Temporarily. Okay, keyword temporarily. And then, like, a day later, rumors were going around that now he has been iced out of decisions. So, like, originally, because, like, he's still a producer, y'all. Like, Chris Harrison, it's like he's not the owner of the show, but, like, he's, like, second.
He's a big part.
He's a big part. So, now the rumors is, like, he's now been completely iced out. Like, they're not involving him in any communication. And I have a question. Mm-hmm. Do you think he should be fired from this? Like, he should not be the host anymore? I don't either.
I don't think he should be fired.
The main reason is because I know some people would argue with me about this, but I don't believe he will learn anything. Because here's the thing, guys, he still has millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Like, and also he's been talking about retiring from The Bachelor forever now. He's fine. So it's like, I don't think I honestly feel like firing him gives him the easy way out.
Yeah.
Instead, and I'm like, yes, retweet, stop apologizing and start taking action and showing why you're not racist, why you're not a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I'm white, but I can't even fathom, like, even as a white person, I'm just like, when someone does something super freaking racist and then they put out a blanket apology, I'm like, okay, well, what are you sorry for?
Yeah.
Like, all you say is that you've done something racist in your past, but what exactly about it is racist?
Yeah.
Because it looks to me like you're not learning. You're like, oh, people are calling me out, but, like, what have you done? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like Rachel Kirkconnell, there's rumors going around, and I honestly do believe this as well, that the reason why she hadn't put out a statement is because ABC was muzzling her. And, like, a lot of people are saying, like, that's not true, blah, blah, blah. But, guys, it doesn't make any sense to me why she would go 6 weeks. Like, the only reason why she said anything is because of what Chris Harrison did. Because, like, he added so much gasoline to the fire.
For no reason.
And so
ABC should come out and say, we did this to Rachel Kirkconnell. This is not her fault. We did. Like, they need to take accountability for keeping her mouth shut, because that ruined... That's messed up for her, because imagine, like, you told me a couple weeks ago, like, she might be under contract, which is she could be sued if she comes out. Like, they need to come out and be like, we did that, and please don't take it out on Rachel. Like, take out what you want on her, but not that.
And not to have like any sort of spoilers whatsoever, but the rumor has it is because a big reason that like she has been quiet, and the fact that like Matt James hasn't said anything is because, for one, on the show right now she's made it to the top 4, but guys, use your brain. Use your brain.
She wins.
Like, and the
And
thing
Matt's
is,
black.
if Matt, he's half black,
Half
yes.
black, half white.
If Matt did pick her, you have to imagine, well, holy shit. Like, what exactly does this mean?
That's why, if ABC would have been just not annoying, she could have come out with a statement, take accountability for what she did,
Yeah.
explain herself, and then everybody, like, people of color can make their decision to forgive her or not.
And I was telling Vincent, like, I am from a small town, and I am used to seeing, like, I don't want to say used to seeing, but, like, the Confederate flag. Like, people have those waving.
Yeah.
Or, like, they'll have them on the back of their truck. Like, I know family members that, like,
Yeah.
literally, like, would have it, like, hanging in their room. But it, honestly, it literally wasn't until I got to college
Yeah.
that I actually, like, I never was just like, yeah, like, Confederate flag.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get
no.
a sticker of that.
No.
But I didn't realize until I seriously got to college
Yeah.
what it exactly like symbols and why it is such like a hate symbol and
Yeah.
like it's super racist.
Yeah.
So I
Yes.
honestly, like, as a white person, I'm very white, I can understand how education played in a matter of, because like there's another thing where it's like people are basically going after Rachel O'Connell for liking a picture of, I guess, 2 of her friends or whatever, and they were standing in front of a Confederate flag, but they weren't like, hey, look, it's a Confederate flag. They were just posing in front of it, like they were probably at like a frat party,
Yeah.
and it was the flag on the wall, and people are penalizing her for that too.
She liked that picture? So they're mad? That she
Yes,
liked it?
they're saying
Was she
that,
in the picture?
No. They're saying that since she liked a picture of her friend.
That's a little extreme, no?
That's what I'm saying. And I think it's also like, it's made me aware of like, okay, like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to lie. Like, there's a very good chance that I could have done that,
Yeah.
you know, in the past.
Yeah.
Like, because like I said, like, I'm also from a small town. But here's the thing, too. Education does go, like, I know no one has to teach you anything. Like, and especially at the age that we're at now.
But racism
I'm-
is taught, I think.
Yes,
like-
but also like when you're in high school and like you're a teenager, like, guys, I didn't learn shit in history
But
class.
like I think I learned more about like civil rights stuff than you did from where I grew up and where you grew up.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, and that's the thing, like
And that was an hour away.
every school is different when what they
Yeah.
what they teach. And so I don't know. I just
She's
like
from Alabama, right? Or-
yes,
Yeah.
no, Georgia.
Georgia.
She's from like one of the most racist counties.
Yeah, you think they
in
taught
Georgia.
her about freaking? I mean, again,
No.
it's not an excuse.
And there have been people from her, like, I guess that area who have come out and they're like, hey, I didn't learn about this in school.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what I'm
never
saying.
was educated about that this particular thing in history
Yeah.
ever happened.
Yeah.
And that's a big reason why also like textbook companies are rewriting their textbooks and including certain events, because they're like,
Yeah.
well, damn, we should probably put in that,
Yeah.
you know, because someone had commented on Dave. I know you're probably not watching this.
Dave, we love you.
Neal, we love you guys. If you are into The Bachelor as much as we are, look up Dave Neal on YouTube. It's basically like a man's recap of The Bachelor.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Bachelorette. He's amazing. Go give him a follow. Anyways, someone had commented on one of his live streams on YouTube, like they're literally they were black from
yeah.
that county.
Yeah.
And they were like, we were never taught about, basically they were taught that slavery was like a red fallacy, what's that word?
Yeah.
They were just like, it never really like
fake.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm like, that is like,
Which is a lie.
I mean, guys, if this isn't a surprise, the American education system is crap.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think that is something that has to be pinpointed,
Yes.
because like everybody learns different things.
That's what I'm saying.
Around the country.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
so
what-
like
it's not the same
education is
thing.
a problem.
Yeah, for sure.
It is a problem.
So that's what I'm saying. If Rachel would have come out 6 weeks ago and said, no excuse, I've educated myself since then, but like you said, we weren't taught how this part of America was taught, then you can't, I mean, it would be easier
is
for her
so
to
different.
be okay with that.
It is so different in small towns.
Yeah.
Because you are in such a bubble, and that's why I'm such an advocate for people to get out of their hometowns.
For sure.
Especially if it's a small town, because it's like you are never going to grow into the person that you truly want
Wanna
to be
be.
or like meant to be if all you ever are is conforming to what you've been taught.
That's why everybody, once they get to college, that's when they really figure themselves out, because you don't listen to your parents, you don't listen to your other family members or the people around you that you've grown up for the same 20 years, and then when you're
and
there,
I'm not
it's
saying
different.
if you want to stay in your hometown, cool.
Yeah.
But, like, if you have that, like, little urge, inkling, but, like, you're just afraid, like, just go out and do it. Because there's nothing more dangerous than being stuck in a bubble with people who look only like you.
Yeah.
Like,
there's no way to
go
go
out
from there.
and look at the world, guys.
There's no way to go from there. Like, we've
You
had
will
many
be stuck.
conversations where you and I have, like, talked about something, and you can tell the difference in, like, being raised in a city and raised in a small town. And I don't think it's bad to be raised in a small town at all, but it's just, like, I was open to so many more things a little bit earlier than you, only because of where you came from, and you came out perfectly. Like, you came out not these things, but it's hard to blame the 8 out of 10 who might have, do you know what I'm saying, who came out a little bit racist or whatever because of their surroundings. But once they get older, that's why when they get older and they actually change the actions, not just the words, I think that's when it gets better. I don't think we can, like Chris Harrison, I don't think he should be fired. But I do think that I'm not opposed to, like, and you brought this up a couple weeks ago, like Rachel Lindsay being a host or even a co-host with him.
Honestly, the best thing The Bachelor could ever do is to have Rachel Lindsay as the host.
That would be amazing.
I don't think she's ever going to accept, from what I've been hearing of her interviews, like, she's
Please,
done
Rachel.
with the Bachelor franchise. Honestly, though, like,
As she should.
I can understand. Like,
The thing is, you can't
they
have someone after
literally
everything.
just rolled over her
They don't
with,
deserve
like,
her.
with their car. You know what I mean?
They
Like,
don't
they just,
deserve
like,
her.
used her, abused her, like,
Well, there would need
not
to be a
cool.
whole new little team of whoever was deciding to keep the same basic people. There needs to be a whole new team if she would be the Bachelorette and she gets more of
there's
the
rumors
words.
going around that apparently the next season, whoever the Bachelorette is or whatever, it's going to be the most diverse season, like only like 10% white. And then
The thing is, like,
I just hate, like,
didn't have to
love
be this
love
way.
that, but hate
Yeah.
that it's happening the way it is.
That's
like,
not
you're
fair,
only
though.
doing it because of what's going on.
And, like, how do you think
And it's
those
bullshit.
women are going to, or those people of color are going to feel like, am I here because they just needed me? Like, that's annoying to me.
I think that's why it's been really cool that, like, Abigail, who half deaf, she has the
She's
I know
deaf,
she
yeah.
can hear- I think it was really cool that, like, she's been on the show, because I can only imagine, like, for hard of hearing people,
Yeah.
like, to see someone that's like them, like, that's really cool, you know?
Yeah, but it's just ABC needs to really get themselves
Guys,
together.
I
'cause
could
that's
go on
BS.
for this, like, forever. I'm just so annoyed because, like, but here's the thing. I'm like I said, I'm white, but I do believe that I really don't have an opinion on the whole Rachel Kirkconnell situation until I hear her speak. Mm-hmm. I want to hear the words coming out of her mouth, and it's also, like, how she conveys and portrays herself on interviews going forward. Like, because she's going to be interviewed on podcasts and, like, shows and stuff. Like,
Chris
it's
Harrison
gonna
really
happen.
made it worse for her, and that
so
sucks.
much worse.
She could have handled this herself.
much
And he
worse.
really had to do all that.
Real quick, I don't know if this, like, means anything to you, but I know, like, most people believed that, like, Rachel Kirkconnell was, like, fully white, but the preview for this week's episode shows that her dad is actually from a Spanish country.
Oh.
So
She does look a little bit like ethnic.
so now people are like, oh my God, she's not even full white. And I'm like,
That doesn't matter, though.
It doesn't matter. Like, she can still very much be racist.
I could be
and also,
racist.
like, a big reason why they're saying that her entire family is racist because some of her dad's actions and, like, some of the campaigns he funded.
The thing is, anybody can be racist, okay? It's not just freaking...
anybody can be racist.
Yeah.
But I think that's they're just like, oh, this is interesting.
I think the takeaway from that is interesting, but
I
just
also don't know
think
if it's
it matters.
100% true.
I think I would believe it because
Yeah.
she does look something, and I saw him.
He's
he
a
does
very
look
tan
little
man.
something. He's a very tan man. But I think the takeaway from this is
But, like,
that
my dad's also tan. But
your
anyways,
dad looks
move forward.
white. Your dad definitely is white.
Yeah. He's so German.
Y'all get a good tan though. No, I think the takeaway from this is I think people like us who are not Black people need to take this time to continue to educate ourselves. It's not like educating ourselves on these situations are not done just because, like, the media is done talking about the protests and all that stuff. I think we need to think about our actions, and when we do something that's racist or whatever, not to overlook it and act like it's not a big deal
You need to
because we're
acknowledge
soft.
it.
I think like
Don't ignore it.
I hate the words like snowflake. It's like, no, we're not being sensitive. We're trying to have equality on certain things. Like, I'm not okay with seeing something racist or seeing something homophobic or seeing something that's hurting anybody but like a minority of the situation. So I think like looking into this, not blowing it up out of proportion, but like saying, okay, this is wrong because of this. Now we have to learn. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to teach. Like, we've even been teaching Luke, my 5-year-old brother, like certain things about the LGBTQ community, the Black community, like, because that matters to me, that my brother and my family care for things like this. He's not going to treat someone differently because of this. And I think like our kids will have hopefully a good, better life because there will be more equality. Because I'm really annoyed with the generation above us. And I think that was a lot of our generation, like, not caring about people. I don't care if someone's going to look at me and be like, okay, you're being sensitive about that. Because we're both very privileged to be who we are. So I don't want to keep saying that I'm privileged. One day I want to be like, everybody's equal. Because I was talking to Taj she was at my house and we were talking about stuff like this, and like I hate even saying to her like I know I'm privileged, because that means because of my skin I'm treated better than her, and I don't, does that make sense? I don't want it to be to that point, because she should be treated the same exact way as I am. And I don't even know why I'm saying that, but like I think if we look back on this podcast like in hopefully 20 years, like this is not a conversation. Do you think racism will still be...
It will still be around, but I will say older people are dying.
Yeah.
Like
and we have racist people our age.
Definitely. But the people who lived through it and were really like, like the forefront of it all, they are dying. Yeah. But here's the thing. That doesn't mean that we can stop talking about it, because if anything, the fact that they are dying is actually bad, because it's like we still have to keep educating and talking about it. Like, guys, you can't just skip over slavery and act like it never happened. You can't do it. And I think if there's any like advice that I can give to someone who doesn't know where to start when it comes to like educating themselves, make sure that the resources you are looking into are actually good resources. Yeah. And like, just like have a freaking heart. Yeah. Like, don't be afraid to say something because you're afraid to offend your Uncle Phil or your Aunt Barbara or your grandparents. Yeah. Guys, racist behavior cannot be tolerated. No. And I'm freaking tired of it. And I'm tired of just seeing
Imagine how freaking Black people feel.
I'm tired of seeing it, all these apologies online. I'm like, stop apologizing and go out and do something. What does that look like? I don't know. But prove through your actions that you're not a piece of shit person. Yeah. And that's all I got to say about it.
And also listen to the people who have been through it. Like Taj was telling me, she's like, if we would stop and listen to these people and what they've been through, it would make a lot more sense, like, of what they feel. And I'm like ready for the next situation that we got to tackle. Racism is what's happening now. I think in the future, I'm sure more LGBTQ things will happen, so...
I'm excited.
What?
For the future. Yeah. Like...
Oh, I'm tackling it. I'm tackling... Yeah. Like, I'm ready to fight.
Bear hug.
I don't care who it is. I don't care what it is. I'm going, and I'm going to freaking take it down, because I really can't be dealing with this. There's no room for this. We have enough going on with people like Ted Cruz.
I know.
To handle.
We're at 27.
So... Is that it, or do you want to reset?
We need to end with that.
And I'm not going to be a friend if you're racist. That's it. Or homophobic.
If you're a piece of shit person, I'm not going to be friends with you. So, like...
And look,
so keep listening to the podcast, because maybe something that we say will come through to you. So...
And if you disagree with us, message us and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's chat.
We're nice when we talk. Okay.
Guys,
love you guys.
We're going to end the podcast because literally, like, we could talk about hours for this.
Oh, for sure.
But I think that there's really nothing more that we could say on this topic. There's more that we can say, but, like, There's nothing we can say after
If
this.
you don't agree with us, it's just, you know.
It is what it is.
Or you can't see what we're saying. Okay.
Bye.
Love you guys.
Please stay safe.
We'll be back soon.
And yeah, just stay
Radiant.
Bye, guys.
Oh, is that what you were doing?
Yeah.